Hello Saberland, Vader's Vault here, showing off our Mitsurugi 3K Combat Class Saber. This is one of our latest additions to the Combat Class, and it is our most detailed Combat Class Saber to date. We took inspiration from a popular collectible sword product that's out there that's been around for probably 15 years. Some of you may know it as the Samurai 3000 series. They come with different style blades, but the hilt is usually always the same. We've been asked to do a lightsaber version of that sword pretty much since day one in this business, and while we've always wanted to do one, it was just sort of difficult to realize at the time in how we wanted to get it done. But the last year I've been modeling and drawing and engineering a version that, while it takes the pertinent design cues from the Samurai 3K design, the actual design of the saber is my own. Just using general layout and certain cues to bring in that inspiration. Some of the points that I'd like to go over on the design is this is our first lightsaber with a Tsuba. It is not a Tsuba that can be removed. It is machined in as one piece into the emitter here. It is fairly small. It's not meant to be overly large and clumsy. It's made to just be enough protection for your knuckles, but everything on it is chamfered and filleted for supreme comfort. Even the back side is concaved here to give you a nice comfortable seam for your thumb and forefinger that when it wraps around it. And in the front of the Tsuba has three on each side, three vents that go all the way through, just for some extra detailing. And then the emitter up here is meant to simulate a hibaki, even though it's for a rounded blade, with some detailing over here taken back off. This is actually our first combat class that is anodized. Most of the hilts that we have in our combat class line are powder coated, or we offer powder coating options. This one we decided to keep faithful to the original inspiration. We wanted to have it hard anodized with black, and we don't offer any other color choices on it. It is a very durable, classy finish, especially with the high detailed areas taken back off on the machines to bring out the contrast. It is a very, very elegant and executive looking hilt. Moving down from the Tsuba, we have a Shroud. This is actually our first full Shroud on a combat class. It goes over the entire emitter piece here, housing one large windowed cutout on the bottom and two smaller windowed cutouts on the top, all with a raised border around each of the windows, along with the tail piece here that has the screws that hold the Shroud down. The only option that we actually will offer on this saber for customization is we will offer to take the tops off of these grooves here if you want some more contrast that will show through the different windows. If you're interested in that, before purchasing, contact us through the store or through the Vader's Vault email, sabersmith@vadersvault.com, and we will give you a quote for the work as well as payment instructions before you purchase. Moving down, we have our standardized feature of the 16mm anti-vandal switch here, and the low-profile recessed auxiliary switch here for your auxiliary functions. We have down here a choked middle band with some detailed panels in there with some pits in each one of them. The rear of the grip has more detailing, more textured grip areas. Nothing is sharp. Everything on this has been chamfered and softened, so it's not going to catch or cut your hand or anything like that, but it does provide great gripping surfaces and great detail to add and break up all that silver that tends to be on a lot of saber hilts. Some milled detailed grooves here, sort of a signature design piece that you will see on some of our sabers thrown in there. At the back we have two side windows milled in here, and this is where we would mount either the CoverTech wheel or D-ring. You can specify which side you would want that mounted on. And then we have our pommel here at the end. And while it's not an exact replication of the pommel on the original sword prop, it is very much inspired by, but our own unique design and I think it captures the feel very well. And we have sort of panoramic array of sound vents that go around the entire perimeter of the pommel in this milled out band here. It's a very cool looking pommel, makes for a very loud saber, and it's very awesome. Now onto the operation of the saber. This is a very sleek design, and in keeping with that, we went with something a little different for blade retention. I don't know if it shows up on camera real well, but the blade retention screw hole is here. The blade retention screw is not meant to come out of the saber, unlike a lot of our other designs. The hole is just big enough to insert your wrench in and either tighten the screw down or back it out. It will only back out enough until it hits the shroud. At that point, don't go any further because you could strip the threads if you force it. Same with tightening it down on your blade. You don't have to really gorilla wrench these things down. I mean, once the screw is snug to the blade, that's enough to hold the blade in, because the blade is tension fit in the emitter. It only needs slightly more tension from the retention screw to actually hold the blade in place. You don't need to go too far. So once you feel it, snug on the blade, stop. If you go too far into the blade, you could actually get your blade stuck in the saber, and that's not very fun. So make sure you're careful with how you back the screw out and tighten it down. But it is not meant to come out. So we have a few people who have gotten these who are not sure on if the screw is supposed to come out or not. No, the blade retention screw hole is only big enough for the 332 sized hex wrench to go in and operate the screw. Alright, moving on. Just like our other combat class sabers, it uses our rigid Delrin chassis system that slides out the back here. Sometimes it requires you to tap the hilt on your palm. Sometimes it slides out very easily, just like this. And then you see your 18650 size lithium-ion battery cell, the Plector Labs Crystal Shard 3.0 with the SD card right here. This is everything you need to access and maintain your saber. If your battery dies, pop the battery out. We give you a little battery tool to help with it. It's going to be tight the first few times that you're taking the battery in and out. Don't worry, it's not stuck. It's supposed to be tight. It's a good thing. So you take that out, either pop in a fresh cell or put it on the charger. When the battery is out, you have access to the SD card. So if you want access to the SD card, make sure you take your battery out. It makes it much easier. But at that point, you can take the SD card, put it in your computer, make any changes to your fonts and or blade colors or other parameters that you want to adjust. Save your changes, put it back in, pop the battery back in, and you're ready to go. Now, the other important thing is there's a speaker back here. That speaker does not like to be pushed on. When you want to push the chassis back in, just push on the edges of the chassis till it clears the very end, and use your pommel to push the chassis back in the rest of the way, and carefully screw in your pommel. And you're good to go.
Loaded. System ready.
And you can load in your favorite sound fonts, put your blade in, Mitsurugi 3K from Vader's Vault in our combat class. Thanks for watching and enjoy your sabers.